Not gonna happen. Gotcha. Oh no.
How do you do? And welcome to the Rest and Go. We used to be the Go and Rest, but folks never knew when to leave. Sorry. Business has been slow. Anything to occupy the time.
How's life on the Groundbreaker?
Fine, as long as the board keeps its grubby mitts to itself. Chief Tennyson holds the ship together, the Promenade holds our economy together, and Sublight is the shoddy jewel in our rusty old crown.
You mentioned Sublight.
Our local garbage collectors. That Lilia Hagen never met a debris field she didn't like. She freely admits she planted her roots in Groundbreaker to escape board oversight. But I think there's more to it. She's unusual in the head, that one.
How does Groundbreaker keep the board
Our
at bay?
Chief Tennyson has an independent streak, same as her mother and grandmother who rode this ship on the crossing. There's a reason the board's embassy is a glorified shoebox. While Junlei Tennyson lives and breathes, Groundbreaker remains free.
Do you do business with the Promenade merchants?
Of course. Most of our supplies come and go through merchants. Company ships and salvage runs are the only traffic we tend to get. I try and steer clear of that creepy fellow in the moon mask. If there's a cost to being a company man,
Pardon me?
he paid it in spades.
Thank you for Gladys.
Oh, you can't miss her. Right behind you, number 2. First unit on the left, or second unit from the right, depending on which direction you count from.
What? This 3? That would be 4. Second unit on your left. Or first unit on your... What is he talking about?
Carry on.
Goodbye, friend.
This is Halcyon News.
You might have misheard him. It was first on the left, second on the right. Maybe that's where you come from. I think I heard like second on the left and then like second from the right. I don't know.
Now see here, I'm... What was I doing again?
Talk to your local manager about applying for military training and lend your life to protecting our wonderful brands and products. Military service.
Thank you, Ephraim.
Guarantee full employment rights, strike rates, military discount, health benefits, military burial, participation medal, training, or weapon. This is Halcyon News. No we in Halcyon and no.
Pardon? Oh, it was you. I would love to. Don't get me wrong.
Bless my
Hello,
heart.
Gladys.
A stranger come knocking on a poor old woman's door. You here for a particular reason? Or did the neighbors tell you how good my sugar cookies are? Made without a single natural ingredient or an oven. Just like store-bought.
Phineas sent me, he said you could tell, sell me a nav key to
Those
Stellar
have been the
Bay.
height of illegality since Stellar Bay turned their noses up at the board. You and I could be thrown to the void just for discussing such a transaction. Lucky for us, Groundbreaker's a free port. We're outside of the board's control. For the time being, at least. Now, I only have the one nav key. And they're hard to come by these days. It won't be cheap. If you find yourself lacking in the bits, I might have an opportunity you'd be interested in.
Any chance for a discount since Phineas sent me?
Phineas, that old kook. He was quite the dancer back in his prime, did he tell you? Real light on his feet. Real light in the wallet, too. He still owes me a small fortune. Laws. Maybe I should charge you double.
So, that's a no?
Bless your heart.
Tell me about this opportunity.
Well, I find I'm in need of a ship captain with a little Moral flexibility. Might be this could help out the Groundbreaker, as well as earn some bits. But if you've got qualms...
No qualms here. Let's hear about the
Do you know
details.
Edna, over in engineering? Sweet as a pea, that one. On occasion, she'll pass along transmissions I might find interesting. She sent me a recording of a distress signal she'd scraped from the Groundbreaker's comm array. Curious thing is, it came from an outpost called Roseway. And Auntie Cleo abandoned that place years ago.
Why was Roseway
Can't
abandoned?
say I know for sure. Maybe it never really was.
Sounds like someone poking into somewhere they shouldn't be got into a spot of trouble.
Comm centers don't operate themselves, Captain. Someone had to have sent that distress call manually.
Those corps are cleverer than all get
You can
out.
call me Fett if you want.
Might have been a ruse to keep the rest of the board from sniffing around.
Oh no, a ghost
Aren't
message.
you precious? No. The young man on the video was flesh and blood, all right.
Could be it was automated. Mr. Thompson used to automate the intercom in Edgewater to say all sorts of things. A bit saved is worth two in the bush was his favorite. Never did figure out what he meant.
Edna didn't seem to think so, and I trust the dear girl's judgment. Well, maybe not in men, but she knows her comms. So, like as not, someone's been down there recently. And if someone set up shop in Roseway, I'd wager they got something to hide.
If it's a corporate town with something to hide, why the
Maybe
SOS?
whatever they're hiding went to heck, and now they need a few spare hands to clean up the mess. If you should find a secret worth selling, might be I could find a buyer. Corporate bigwigs will pay top bit for inside information on their competitors. The more we got the corps fighting each other, the less time they got to meddle in our affairs.
So you need someone to snoop around
My
for you?
goodness, aren't you quick on the uptake? I like that. Should you find yourself responding to a certain distress call, and in so doing find yourself in possession of certain valuable corporate secrets, well, then we ought to have a chat over a pot of tea and my famous cookies.
Ooh, pot of tea. You can count on
Lord
me.
bless your atoms. Here's a copy of the SOS recording, complete with the coordinates. Don't forget to come find old Gladys when you're done.
What other jobs do you know
might
about?
want to acquaint yourself with Junlei Tennyson, Groundbreaker's chief. She's been trying to get a handle on this heat problem
I'm
we've
an
got.
engineer genius, Gladys.
You'll
Just
find
put
her
me in the right
flirting in
direction.
engineering. I'd say she's a sweet girl, but law forfend someone call me a liar.
I wanted to ask you
What do
something
you
else
want,
here.
then? My hard
You mentioned groundbreakers out. You mentioned. You mentioned groundbreakers outside of the board's
That's
control.
right, dearie. The only independent station in the colony. That's us. Though for how long, I can't say. That all depends on Miss Junlei.
How do
The
you mean?
board can't abide a community that won't bend to its will. They've always got one scheme or another running, looking for ways to bring us to heel. Like this heat business. Shameful. But it won't work. No, ma'am. Groundbreaker's free till the day she dies, law willing.
Back to my
Go
other
right
questions.
ahead, sweetheart.
What's this about heat?
Groundbreaker's radiators. Been neither fine nor dandy for weeks now. Miss Junlei's supposed to be getting them fixed, but the board's determined to get in her way.
How do you
The
mean?
board can't abide a community that won't bend to its will. They've always got one scheme or another running, looking for ways to bring us to heel. Like this heat business. Shameful. But it won't work. No, ma'am. Groundbreaker's free till the day she dies, law willing.
Did I do the same thing twice? What do you do here?
Oh, a little of this, a little of that. I buy and sell items that require discretion to dispose of. Knickknacks. Curios. I also knit throw pillows stuffed with the hair of famous tossball players. But that's more of a passion project.
I'm not sure that's entirely legal.
That's half the reason I make them, my dear. But that's not what you wanted to talk about, is it, dear?
Why'd the board recall Stellar Bay
Ask the
Nephews?
common folk, and they'll tell you it's on account of all the monsters on Monarch desperate to gobble you up. Because that's what the board tells them, you see. I think they made some fool mistake that would make them look bad to the rest of the colony, and they're trying to hide the evidence.
What makes you
Those
think
board
that?
folk are real prideful-like. Never want you looking behind the curtain, lest you see their derrieres. But old Gladys knows the score. The whole colony's not much more than a diorama, showcasing one board screw-up after another. That's why we gotta keep them from getting their grubby mitts on Groundbreaker. She's our mess.
Or there's still people down there?
Probably. Every once in a while, we get these snippets of radio chatter. Edna shows them to me. Some man hooting and hollering about the light in us all. Claims he's transmitting from anytime.
Okay, thank you. But what are you selling?
It's almost time for today's episode. I found a handsome...
Officer's spine. My favorite part of the officer. Data cartridge contains the public records of Hephaestus Mining's output on Scalia. Sure. So it's shoots one bullet, but it shoots 6 at once. This is pretty good, actually. But it has a long loading. Gotcha. Give me this. Battered Mardet datapad. The old datapad contains incident reports from various Mardet security patrols, most of the details of simple finds and dust-ups between the crews of wildcat riders and corporate haulers. 2 entries have been marked for later review. August 7th, 2344 responded to the code ID-10-T at the Lost Hope. Barrier says to bounce back some rat that got himself soaked in Spectrum Red. Drunken fool got just into a scuffle with one of the engineers Tyson's people. We tossed the rug leech back down to the bays. Rude boy fought us the entire way, telling us we'd be sorry once he controlled the enemy hammer's power. If it's some new Hammersmith marketing stunt, I'm putting this antenna. October 25th, 2344, had another run-in with the rug leech from the last dope. Don't know how the uppity piker got out of the back bay with that nuts of this thing. Locked himself into the repair bay off the docking ship 13, refused to come out, kept raving about the weapon's chaotic beauty. Or some stuff while we were trying to talk him out, had to break off when our shift ended. Well, it's gonna come out eventually. We already have the weapon. Get out of here.
Okay.
I'm not hidden. What else do we have around here, huh? It's that easy. Squadron Journal. I served on 2 corporate fighters before I got stranded here. Everyone's heard my sob story, but no one's listening. To them, I'm just background radiation. It wasn't my fault the captain decided to take off early. It wasn't my fault no one checked the crew manifest. It wasn't my fault they replaced me with a full-timer. Now I'm a filthy bitless and bedless. For as anyone concerned, I'm groundbreaker trash. That's how I live, and if no one agrees to take me as a crew, I suppose that's how I'll die. Are you dead? Take your stuff. You don't want this big cartridge, do you? But that gin. I hear electric, I don't like that. And I'm in water. Holographic disguise activated. Your holographic shroud has activated, giving you temporary access to the restricted area. Moving drains the shroud's energy. When it runs out, personnel will see and interrogate you. Talk your way out of the interrogation to reset your shroud. It will get harder to talk your way out more as you're interrogated. Now you turn it off for now, no one's here. I don't even know where I am. And do an autopsy?
You ever wonder if maybe folks keep doors closed for a reason?
All right, I'm going.
Heading back.
It doesn't recharge, I guess. Okay. But we have 3 interrogations to get it recharged, I think. Also nobody here, so... Hey, ma'am, you want to open up the door?
To the last rat is on rotten time. Leave me in peace. You hull-headed quacks do know that restful recuperation requires not being
Bye. So we're about to be spotted, I believe. What happened in here? I can't go in. There's no way in.
What do you think you're doing?
Nothing. Use your dialogue skills, betray, lie, or intimidate to conversion to avoid combat and reset your Stroud. Nothing at all.
My job, okay?
Okay, I understand how that works now.
We got...
Hello, Doctor.
Miss Doyle isn't having any visitors. Even friends. Pardon me.
Oh, Doctor.
Can't say
Doctor?
I've seen you before. I take it you're a freighter captain? If you're here to better yourself, you'll have to wait. We're having a spot of trouble with our delivery service.
Wheeler told me to get you off his butt about
Did
your
he
shipment.
now? The mouth on that man. I swear his late mother'd be ashamed. He must be referring to Irion. I'm sure the fool's gotten himself into another scrape. I'm beginning to wonder if I'm ever gonna get my service mechanicals at this rate.
Who's
Our
Irion?
delivery man. A brave idiot with a penchant for getting himself delayed. Sometimes by dates, usually by bandits.
I'll
I'd be
try to find
grateful
him.
if you'd spare the time. We need his delivery soon as yesterday. Last he told me, he was taking a shortcut by Scylla, an asteroid in the Charybdis cluster.
Scylla.
That's where I'd start, were I the adventuring type. You look out, though. The place is probably crawling with outlaws.
You mean nobodies?
Keep hanging around. What can I do for you? You
Nothing for now. Excuse me, about the
What seems to be the problem?
Mafu? Can I buy supplies from you? You seem well
Not
stocked.
without dispensation from Chief Junlei, I fear. Supplies are hard to come by out here.
How do you
We
mean?
don't have the ability to manufacture our own medical supplies here on Groundbreaker. Regrettably, we are dependent on the board for such mundane items as bandages and antibiotics, as well as more critical resources like adequately trained staff. We'd nearly signed a supply agreement with Anti-Cleos, but they demanded we only use their branded drugs, and that's simply not tenable. Take care.
Okay, bye.
You can't keep me out of there.
Hey, you're from the trailer.
Take a scene, Dr. Fenhill.
I am not making a scene. I'm sorry. Am I causing a scene? See,
No, but you're from the trailer.
We could have avoided all this unpleasantness if you just let me talk to Jessie in the first place.
What's
Let
this
me
about
get
your
one
friend?
thing straight. Jessie and I are not friends. I just owe her, okay? As for the rest, I'm trying to figure that out. All I know is that she's been here too long, and she's apparently not receiving visitors.
Maybe I can look into. Maybe I can look in on Jesse.
Be my guest. If you know something I don't about dealing with hospital bureaucracy, I'll be impressed.
You're back, Ellie. Too easy. No, I shouldn't be sprinting.
You hull-headed
Your friend Ellie sent me.
Why? Everything's fine. We're all fine here. No need for her to be worrying her pretty little head about me. I'm just terrible, dreadful sick is all. Got a cough that won't quit and sores all over my body. Highly, lethally contagious. But I'll be fine, so long as I'm left alone.
Open the door before I kick it down.
She'd send a bruiser after me. Damned if I don't rue the day I saved her scrawny little hide. Inadvertently, I befriended a bloodhound in the process. Alright, okay. We can discuss this like the level-headed folk that we are. Seems I've got to do something before Ellie goes jabbering my business to anyone with one ear and an intent to listen.
Hiya. Can I have this? No? Okay.
The truth is, I'm not sick. But if you repeat what I'm about to tell you to anyone, I will deny it with my dying breath. You, ain't with the board, are you? See, I owe them a lot. I might have missed a payment or two, and the other night I swear someone was following me back to my room. So I hold up here to lay low.
Ellie asked me to help you, so that's what I plan to do.
Bedford's the board guy on the station. He'd know how I stand with them. If you can square things for me, I'd owe you one even bigger than Ellie owes me.
What did you do that got you in trouble?
No, I didn't do anything. I'm a law-abiding denizen of this ship, I swear.
Yet you think the board has someone to follow you, and now you're hiding out.
No, I recognize a contracted killer when I see one, thank you. In my line of work, that's a skill you develop during week 1, assuming you want to keep breathing. All right, I'll fess this part up too, if it means you'll help me. I'm a thief. I specialize in particularly high-end and historically valuable items. 3 weeks back, I caught rumor that the blood-tier diamond, last worn by an heiress on the Lost Hope, had surfaced for the first time in 70 years.
So you stole it.
If I had, you think I'd be hiding out in the med bay? I was gonna steal it, lined up Udom as my buyer. He paid half up front to finance the operation. Let's just say things went sideways about the time I got my hands on the diamond, and it crumbled to stardust in my palm. Anywho, I barely made it out with my life, and nary a plan to make back Udom's deposit I'd spent.
I'll talk to Udom for you.
Helping you with the board. You're a real pal. Or I guess I should say, Ellie is one, huh?
You could. Or not. Prefer not.
Any word on Jessie?
She's in debt to the board and thinks someone's after her. I'll handle it. I'll handle
Board's
it.
got an office on the promenade just before engineering. You can't miss it.
Anything else?
I'd go with you to see the board's rep, but...
Okay. Hey, we did the first floor. Look at that.
CNP Borsworth.
Wait, we still have more floors over here. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Inside of the rest and go. And over here. Thing over here, okay. This is Halcyon News. Hello, Friday crew. We have reviewed your proposal for the 10th time, so will not agree with the galactic mushroom as our acceptable flavor for the reserve beverage. Even if we were to pursue this idea, the samples you sent us were dangerously hallucinogenic. The unopened package alone caused mayhem in our receiving bay. Please never reach out to us again. My big candid friend. FSR 11 for fun time, simulated rampage, and body count 11. Bank 7. Primal affections. Rated PACNS for passion, anthropod, and consensual nanner spanking. What is this pay-per-view? What? It's fine. May I have what's in your pocket? Oh, you're leaving. He's going over here. Thank you for the banana. And tartar sauce. My favorite of all-time drinks. Why am I in here? Wasn't somebody else up here? I sort of saw someone standing like right there when we came up. Hey. Boys coming in? That's where you are. Is that a revolver? I didn't see. There's some key card. Key card. That's what I thought. You're here.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. Remember Auntie Cleo?
Thank you. In.
When you were sick, who took your temperature?
No, go over there because the doors are gonna open. Thank you. Thank you. Didn't see what that was. You only get one? I don't see any more, so... Unless you have more again. I doubt this is how this works. That's what I thought. I don't think you had one.
What do you think
that
you're
would
doing? You're free to go.
It ran. No, I don't want to talk. Unless you want to talk.
So, tell me what's on your...
Nothing? Okay. Well... Take my junk. The junk. Alright, I think we're done down here. Finally. Excuse me, sir. Subway.
Board patrol nicked a friend of mine. Accused her of piracy.
Shit. She actually do it?
No. One of the cleanest folk I know. She found a hold-up ship and was pulling illegal salvage. One of the big cruisers rolled up on
I
her
love the
and
shades.
done the holding her own self.
What the hell are they gonna do with it?
Are they like tiny welder glasses?
She was sent to the labyrinth on Tartarus. Disruption of intra-colony commerce.
Oh, sick. That's a prison for hard cases. Violent repeaters. Nobody gets out.
Bald cases.
I know, man. Don't I know?
Ethel,
If
how do
you're
you do?
hungry, you've come to the right place. I've got a fresh ground batch of spratwurst cooking. They're terra-fried to lock in the juices. How about
What's
a grind?
spratwurst
You know
exactly?
what sprats are? Space rats. The laboratories of Spacer's Choice found a use
know,
for this
didn't think that's what that stood
limitless
for.
frontier resource. Sprat meat is plenty tasty
Thought it was
and
just called
properly
sprat.
prepared. We grind them up in sausages, then terra-fry them in their own juices.
Is bratwurst like Borswurst? I've seen that a lot.
Absolutely not. Spratwurst and all related terms are registered trademarks of Spacer's Choice. Boar, the other meat, is a registered trademark of C&P. Everyone knows our company and theirs are nothing alike.
What does terra-fry mean?
Terra-frying is a Spacer's Choice brand secret. A mix of 13 herbs and spices, plus a dash of modern chemistry.
Is bratwurst your invention, or what?
Legally? No. The terra-frying method was developed and marketed by Spacer's Choice. Between you, me, and this grinder, I've been through lean times. If there's one thing you learn on tramp freighters, it's how to make near anything edible. Might be that this old space hand put a few words in the right ears, and could be that Spacer's Choice liked sticking it to C&P by R&Ding our own special meat.
Alright, that's enough talk for now.
Just as well. Near
You time to
long as
chat.
don't, just as
Okay.
fresh from the grind.
I'll survive. Can I come back here? Thank you. Excuse me? I thought it said it's Kirsten. Ike
You look
Christensen.
like someone who's taken their share of cuts and bruises. Need some armor? Maybe it's a bit secondhand, but that's only a testament to its durability. We also have a line of specialized melee weapons, for those times you have to repel boarders but don't want to risk a bullet through the hull.
Tell me about your
Everything I
wares.
sell is fresh from the forge. Technically, the metal formed billions of years ago, but it's freshly in this shape.
Are you a spacer
Not
yourself?
me, but it's in my blood. After the crossing, my family worked Eridanos, indentured to the corporations.
They did what up
Not
to the
from
what?
around here, are you? After leaving Earth, they worked a local gas giant from a floating refinery. Dangerous work. I was born into corporate labor, but I'm the first one of my family to buy my way out. That's why I settled on Groundbreaker. It's the last bastion of freedom.
Let me see what you have for sale. A whole lot of garbage. Block +3, I laugh. Lockpick +5. Oh, brother, we don't need hacking though. Intimidate, I'm already a god. What's this business suit? Really weapon skills, I'm okay. See you later, nerd. Excuse me? Gang is all here? Thanks for the 1 cartridge. Thanks for the 251 cartridges. Let me go lockpick you too. Thanks. Yeah, my way. Auntie Cleo. Groundbreaker promenade discovered. I can wait. We have more shops.
That maniac on Monarch still screaming into the comms void. Still sick of it.
Where am I? Thank you. Auntie Cleo worker. Warning, please follow all recommended safety protocols before maintaining or cleaning your unit. The ACSR-F900 is equipped with anti-tampering subsystems, which trigger a self-defense mechanism in the food preparation apparatus. Self-defense suspendees. What supersedes any specifics function. Sorry, it's very small text. Please also remember to deactivate and remove all slicing, dicing, blending, filleting, chopping, deboning, or tenderizing apparatus prior to opening any access panels. It's critical that a spray of blood obscures the rest of the manual. What did you hit though? I don't see any of those unique things here. It's just a fridge. Did he actually clean my glasses? Hello, robot.
Potential customer. Welcome to Auntie's Kitchen, a home-style consumable protein dispensary. May this unit dispense proteins for your ingestion.
Aren't you a glorified vending
This
machine?
unit is programmed to simulate shock at such assertions. Shock simulation non-functional.
I can't read.
Ticket has been filed.
You know there's a dead body in your kitchen?
This unit would clarify. There is a dead mechanic in the kitchen. User error in the maintenance of this unit's cutlery engaged several systems at once. The slicer, the grinder, the tenderizer.
Sounds like a pretty nasty bug in your system.
This unit behaves precisely as it was engineered. Neither this unit nor its corporate proprietor claim any responsibility for the mess.
Do you plan on cleaning up back there?
This unit is not designated for cleaning duties and cannot be compelled to accept another unit's responsibilities.
All this... I can't see. All this morbid talk is making me hungry.
Beginning dispensing sequence. Please unblock all relevant facial protein ingestion tubes.
Hold. Say, can I read without my glasses? That's what they're there for, right? To read when you have horrible eyes. There we go. Ketchup? I don't want ketchup. Nor a bag of Tobacorn ears. Pipe patch? I'm okay. Thank you, towel guy. Hey? No. I had to know. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and walk around.
Have you seen this man?
Phineas.
Go back to Byzantium, you gold-plated bastards.
Ah, the board. Organized, efficient, competent. Well, mostly.
I think everything in here is worth more than I made in my whole life.
A chair?
Something you need?
I like the dialogue. Where did
I
it
find
go?
myself
There you are.
marveling at the complex simplicity of the Fibonacci spiral. I'm sure you know what that's like.
The
Something
Fibonacci
vexing
spiral
you,
is
Captain?
something to be amazed about. I'll think about it and get back to you. The golden circle. Hello there, Udon.
Yes. Wheeler messaged me you were coming. You must be the captain of the Unreliable, a vessel that used to be helmed by one Alex Hawthorne. And you are not he. Has something happened to my favorite scruffy freelancer?
Forget Alex what to do. Bring your scrawny neck, you sprat frick. Back my ship. Alex is dead.
This is terrible. My dear friend, what devilry is this? In whose miserable fever dream am I trapped?
Forget Alex what to do. Why'd you impound my ship?
I impounded Alex's ship, not yours. Well, I guess it's yours now if you're captaining it. It's a game we play, he and I. I ask him to turn in Phineas Wells. He tells me he will soon. I impound his ship. He explains why he can't give me the info right now. I ask him to turn in Wells. Around and around we go.
Thrilling anyway about my ship.
Right. You're going important places, I'm sure. Big, exciting, important places. There. I've removed the flag from your ship. I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience.
Real loud typing,
however, before you go, Alex promised to tell me the location of Phineas Wells. I'm sure you've seen his wanted posters all over the colony. Did Alex tell you where Wells might be? Anything?
Why do you think I know anything about Wells?
Well, Alex knew, or he said he did. And you have his ship. Maybe he kept some records around, or a conveniently placed note on his bedside table.
Why is the board so interested in Wells
You
anyway?
haven't read the posters? He's a terrorist, a thief, a madman. It's really in the colony's best interest that we stop him before he does further harm.
I mean, he never did mention Phineas Wells. He never talked to the guy.
Well, that's just terrible news. Law, what am I going to do now? The board will have my head. Oh, I'm sorry. This is terribly unprofessional of me. Is there anything else I might help you with?
I'm hearing about Jessie Doyle. I want her debt
Miss
settled.
Doyle owes the board a significant sum. Alas, the only collateral she has is her organs. Compulsory donation is quite legal in such cases.
Can she work for you until she earns back what she
I believe
owes?
the captain is proposing an indenture contract.
I didn't say nothing about her teeth. She got to be worth more alive than dead.
Not unreasonable.
I guess it's better than losing your organs, but I don't know, Captain. It just doesn't seem right.
Miss Doyle is deeply in debt, and the board has every right to do whatever they like to recoup that debt. What guarantee do I have that she'll agree to the terms you negotiate?
I mean, kind of see the price. Whereas Theus doesn't
I
have
quite
much
concur.
choice.
It's refreshing to deal with someone practical for a change. I will recall my collection agent. Tell Miss Doyle to report to me promptly for her first assignment. Now, is there anything else you need, or can I return to my work?
I mean, I would have paid the debt. I just didn't know what it was. Remember that I had the option once I hit
Be
the
my
other
guest.
option. I just see Dom when I want to hit it. Can you get me to Stellar Bay?
Law. Who'd want to go to that toxic hell pit?
So, no?
No. Emphatically no. Unequivocally no. Immutably no.
Could have just said no. Didn't have to think all about unequipable.
Do you have somewhere else to be, by any chance?
What do you do here exactly?
I'm the certified representative of the board's interests here on the Groundbreaker. I'm their eyes, ears, and busy little hands.
Big fish in a small space station. Nice
I
setup.
have few complaints.
Does it seem hot in here to you?
Law, but it's miserable. My underarms are damp. How can I be expected to work in these conditions? Chief Tennyson is supposedly looking into the cause, but I've seen no action from her. Deplorable conduct. My superiors will be hearing about it. You can be certain of that.
Why are there armed guards in here?
You've noticed my friends. Wonderful. Aren't their guns very large? Tremendously impressive.
You have very fine
They're here
eyebrows.
To keep the peace, of course.
A piece of what? Is there a pie around here? I want some.
I'll admit, you've caught me quite off guard. No, I'm afraid there isn't any pie to be had.
That's fine. I prefer cake.
I don't reckon that's quite what Mr. Udom meant, Captain.
Anyway, Groundbreaker makes much ado about its
See, Pavati here
status
gets it straight
and
with
so
me.
resents any board presence.
She knows how to
No matter
translate.
kind.
You keep calling offices on their... Wait, you call keeping offices on the promenade benign?
When the alternative is board
Man, I read
guards
that
at their
wrong
gates,
so hard.
yes, I do. They don't see it that
What are
way,
those
of
locked
course,
doors in the back?
but I
I
can't
thought you were
say I
done.
much care.
What are those locked doors
A
in the back?
luxury stateroom reserved for Chairman Rockwell's use.
Does the chairman visit here often?
Good law, of course not. He'd never set foot on this decrepit junk pile. As this office is the primary embassy for the board on Groundbreaker, corporate bylaws specifically state a room must be maintained for the chairman's exclusive use. Ask away.
Okay, bye. He's done it. Give me one more point here. Not you. Dialogue, because then we can't... Oh, these two will get there eventually. Okay. Just keep doing that. I'd like to get them all to 50 at least. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, apply it. Thank you. Perks. Carrying capacity, don't really care. Consumable weight doesn't really help. Bonus extra headshot, weak spot damage, interactable highlight range, vendor price, consumable weight, health is returning kill, movement speed during TTD, silence weapon damage. Doesn't really help me that much. And ability cooldown. Super kill, penalty to accuracy. I think let's just go with the inventory, dude. Bavarti. Let's see here. Range damage, armor rating, melee damage, 10% chance to extract mods in the field. Just take more damage. Alright, Vicar. Damage, armor, melee, dialogue, combat effect duration. I don't care about the dialogue, combat effects. There's some more range damage. Have fun. Can I